who has completed the Triple Crown not once but twice, Stephen Hendry. Listen, it's been a fantastic week here in Coventry, Neil, but you can sense tonight a real anticipation in the crowd because we've got to the business end of this one, haven't we?
We certainly have, you know, and all of the players remaining are all champions in the last year. There were a few players that they wanted the ranking list because that's the only way they could get 16 players. They've all gone now, and all of the guys left are in brilliant form. I thought the standard at the start of the week was good, but it's got better and better. Yeah,
and of course, this is a rerun of last year's final, which was a cracking match, Stephen.
Yeah, it was very, very high standard. Great victory for Sean Murphy. Had a very poor record, especially in the business end of tournaments against Ronnie Sullivan. So it was a magnificent victory for him, a real sort of turning point in his career, I would say.
How much will that be in the back of Ronnie's mind?
Well, I think it really hurt him last year. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he roared back from 9-5 down to 9-8, and just look at his. Now, Ronnie doesn't give it much emotion. He's quite angry at missing that. You know, he realises that is his chance gone to be champion of champions, winner again. And it hurts to lose, doesn't it?
There's no doubt that Sean Murphy is one of the players that irritates Ronnie a little bit round the table. I think if Sean Murphy can get plenty table time tonight, there was times in that final where I watched Ronnie and he was literally following Sean around the table with his eyes, like watching him.
That must be quite an intimidating.
Yeah, but I think there's something about Sean that annoys him a little bit, and then that if that kind of Sean can use that to his own advantage and stay on the table, it might help him win tonight.
Okay, let's hear from him now. Sean Murphy's been talking to Phil Yates.
Sean, the first semi-final tonight, and all four players have reached the last four in cracking form. It's a really phenomenal lineup.
Yeah, and to be honest, completely unexpected for me. I mean, certainly with the form I've shown in the early part of this season, I've no right to be stood here now talking. But, you know, Coventry's gone from somewhere that I'd, had a terrible record in to obviously winning here last year. And just when I came here the other day and you walked through the doors, last time you were here, you were lifting the trophy. Perhaps that's just giving me that extra little bit of confidence.
And, of course, tonight's semi-final, a reenactment of last year's final. You're hoping for the same kind of result?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's very, very simple when you play Ronnie. You know, you've got to bring your A game or you make your travel plans. And, I'm looking forward to a really, really good game. He played really well to come through his group. I thought I played quite well too. So I hope we put on a really good show for everyone.
You've done pretty much everything in the game, World Championship, UK Championship, Masters, the Triple Crown, all that kind of stuff, and winning here. But you've never successfully defended a title. I suppose that's the next tick in the box.
I guess so. I mean, it's it's really difficult. It's not easy, but I'll give it a good go. I'm certainly doing better than I thought I was going to do coming here. As I say, I had terrible form coming here this week, and it's just nice to string a few wins together. If I could string another one together tonight, I'd be over the moon.
And one final question. When you're playing Ronnie, is it different to playing anyone else?
Absolutely. I mean, with no disrespect to any of the other players on the tour, Ronnie is the best. And as I say, from the outset that you've got to play, somewhere near your best snooker to stand a chance and hope that he has a bad night too. So, as I say, it's a very simple equation for me. If I play my best, I'll have a chance.
Well, champ, good luck.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Sean Murphy there. Bring your A game or make travel plans, he says, Stephen. Do you think sometimes players give Ronnie too much respect?
I certainly wouldn't be talking that way just before going on the table against him. It's all very well to compliment other players, and I think everyone knows that when Ronnie plays well, he's just still that little bit above everyone else. But yeah, I mean, you've got a semi-final of a major competition coming up. I certainly wouldn't be talking that way.
And Neil, just to hear him talking about how Stephen was talking about how Ronnie doesn't particularly like playing Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy has an option and an opportunity there to upset him, to unsettle him a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, it is worth mentioning that they've played, the last 3 times they've played, it's been in a final each time, which is unusual. And after this one, Ronnie did get his own back in the UK final and in the World, in the Players' Championship as well. So, he has the better of him, but he didn't a year ago here. And, if Sean plays well, he's got a real chance of winning. If he doesn't, I don't see how he can win.
Yeah, I think tonight, if Ronnie loses because it's Ronnie's lost because of himself. I think he's playing that well. He showed such great form against John. I says, if he doesn't turn up, it'll be down to him, I think.
Well, Alan McManus will be in the commentary box for us for the start of this one. Let's now get his tactical overview ahead of the match.
So we've got a repeat of last year's final, Sean against Ronnie. Now, we know that the match is going to be decided down the business end. All the scoring is going to be done down here. That's where the bulk of the match is going to be. We know that. I want to talk to you about the break-off and the little nuances, the differences that you can make about the break-off. Now, this week, I think the tables have been playing kind of strange. I've seen a lot of players breaking off, and the ball that they're hitting's come back up the table. Now, Ronnie against Stuart Bingham did that very thing. You'll see as we run it, he breaks off. This red that he hits comes back up and lands in this area. Now, that's no good. But there are ways, and you'll see Ronnie O'Sullivan change in frame 5. There are ways of keeping that red down this end. Now, what he does, he goes a little bit lower in the cue ball. He takes a little bit of forward momentum off the cue ball, which takes some of the energy out of that red. You'll see the red landing here. Okay, so that's fine. Running it on. The only other thing, though, the other wing ball comes and lands here. Now, that's no good. Not against a player of Sean Murphy's class, because he'll knock that in probably more often than not. What Ronnie should do, I think, is put the cue ball a little closer to the brown. A little nice and low in the cue ball again, so that wing ball doesn't come up, but more of a glancing blow, which keeps this one a bit tighter to this cushion. You don't mind leaving that all day. All right, Sean Murphy's a good long potter. We know that. But the break-off is so important. And Ronnie O'Sullivan is a sneaky so-and-so. So watch him in frame 5. He adjusts. There's no doubt about it. And I caught him.
Nothing gets past Alan McManus. Did you spot it?
No, you need to be a special kind of an analyst to spot these things.
Fox, isn't he, Alan?
Yeah.
That's how he's
Sneaky
still on the tour.
so-and-so.
He's thinking of new angles to everything.
Sneaky, Golden Roddy, sneaky. Interesting though, interesting point you made.
Yeah, very much so. You'll see, I think we've got a couple of shots of Sean Murphy coming up, and the red that Alan said that Ronnie can't afford to leave out, we'll see. I mean, this is an example of his long pot. He's one of the best in the game, and you've got to keep him so tight. It's another one. It's just a great cue, isn't it, Neil?
He just drills long pots in. I mean, he did it all the way through his group, actually. That's the kind of shot, isn't it? You know, if you knock those in, Stephen, you know you're hitting the ball well, aren't you?
And I think the last one, I think, well, we're not going to see that. I think there's been many examples this week of that shot to nothing that Ronnie can't afford to leave out, because Sean, if he's going to win tonight, he's got to get in first and he's got to take his chances.
It's interesting to hear him say he didn't really expect to do particularly well coming into this. You know, his form hasn't been there, but he sensed us when he came into Coventry, into the Rika, that he remembers lifting the trophy. Can you have relationships with tournaments where some of you have a hoodoo and some that you can begin to get some traction with?
Stephen had quite a good relationship with the World Championships, actually, so and quite a few others. But no, maybe there is something in there. As it happens, he hadn't done well here before. But the thing with Sean Murphy, right, is he can't really outmanoeuvre O'Sullivan. He just got to outplay him and outscore him. That's really the only way he can beat him, and that's the only way most people can beat him, actually. So that's what he's got to do.
Yeah, it's very simple. The only way Ronnie's not going to pop balls if you keep him in his chair.
Well, Ronnie, of course, has never missed a final here in the tournaments he's played in. Let's take a look at some of his action in the way to this semi-final. I
think what we love about Ronnie, it's a different kind of set of analysis, Stephen, is it? He's a beautiful controller of the ball and creative player.
I've said many times, the most important ball on the snooker table is that cue ball. You control that, you're going to score heavily, you're going to win frames in one visit. That was a beautiful shot. A lot of players would have got too much side on that cue ball, that Blade played. This was like a stun run through off 2 cushions. Again, putting the cue ball on a 5p piece.
Yeah, his control is unbelievable. And look at this, there's no one who splits the bunch better playing in the game now. And that's how to get the breaks, the balls open and knock in big breaks, you know, with that kind of touch and creative skill. OK, we're going to get to the action very shortly. Coming up on the other side of the break, 2 former world champions will take to the table. Ronnie O'Sullivan looking to claim his 3rd Champion of Champions title in Coventry. He's up against last year's winner, Sean Murphy. Ronnie O'Sullivan has had the edge over Murphy. The Rocket has 10 wins to his name, compared with just 3 victories for the Magician. But who will come out on top tonight and book their place in Sunday's final? We can expect some fireworks. In the commentary box, Alan McManus is alongside Phil Yates, but first we can hand over to our MC, Phil Seymour.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to the ManBet X Champion of Champions here at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. This is the first semi-final. It's the best of 11 frames, and the crowd are raring to get the action underway, so let's meet the players. We begin with the 2005 Champion of the World, the reigning and defending Champion of Champions, the Magician, Sean Murphy. his opponent. He's a two-time champion of champions, the reigning UK champion, and a five-time champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
It's a rocket against a magician. It's a rebel against the establishment. Two great rivals, two world champions, going head-to-head in a race to 6 for a place in the final of the Champion of Champions.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Alan, it's a mouth-watering prospect.
Yeah, and you can tell with those intros the crowd are bang up for this encounter as well. Brilliant intros. Always a special night, semi-finals night at the Champion of Champions.
Murphy's had a wonderful career, trying to reach his 38th professional tournament final. But Ronnie O'Sullivan is trying to reach his 98th. And this is his 135th semi-final, so I think he knows the territory.
Little shake of the head straight away, taking his time, Ronnie. That tells you, well, it tells me anyway, that he's dialed in for this match.
Isn't that amazing? Because I was going to say exactly the same thing. When you've watched him for so many years, it only takes a few minutes to realise just whether he's zoned in or zonked out. And I think it's definitely the form of this evening.
Yeah, he started his first match against Stuart Bingham, Ronnie, almost playing a little too carefree, in my opinion. Took him a frame and a half to get himself sort of going, and right from the off tonight, you can tell he's full concentration. Not so sure about that shot. Got a feeling Ronnie can maybe play this and find a little gap. That's what he's considering. You see, this is a brand new cloth as well for the semi-finals, so the cue ball will arc more off this red and on contact.
So difficult to pick a potential winner of this tournament, but really there's already been one. The table itself, this Rasson table, has been the canvas on what's been a masterpiece of a tournament.
Yeah, interesting. Refusing the red, he obviously feels that he is going to get the cannon. Such a premium tonight on getting the cue ball close to the baulk cushion. These safeties.
So the early stages, I think, for both, just a wee bit edgy, as you might expect. And that was a misjudgment from O'Sullivan.
Yeah, having just potted it off the right-hand jaw as Sean sees it, and just lost the cue ball a few inches close at this side cushion. To straighten the black, can't do an awful lot with the cue ball. How ambitious does he get with this? Well, the answer is very. What a shot that is. Brilliant. Right, he's not nice on a red, but it was the only way he could get out for one.
8. Nine. $14.
Yeah, he's so comfortable, Sean Murphy, at getting the deep screw that there's no problem in playing. Well, he's just playing the stun for pink to middle.
15.
Hampered. 3 cracking shots to start this contribution. These are tricky. One good thing is he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball.
Second shot. Okay. 21. $22.
Yeah,
27.
bargain on the cannon off the cluster. Had been a wee bit fortunate there, Sean Murphy. Finishing this red. Back up for blue. Musket top side, obviously. No, not
28.
good. Be busy getting on a red now from this position. See, I think the previous blue that he played with, this being a new cloth, you just get that little extra juice on the cue ball, the grab on it. That's why he cannoned the reds. Oh, that kiss will work.
$33.
So 2 slices of positional fortune in 3 shots.
$34.
But at this level, when you receive good fortune, it's all about capitalising.
Yeah, nice and straight in the red, so pick his spot now.
41.
Going into the pack. Off this next black. It's not a brilliant shaped bunch right now, but yeah, he's just having a little scan at it. What shot he wants to play after this.
$42.
Yeah, not easy to get reds moving, and not all that easy to get the cue ball out in the open.
49.
Well, he's been battling to keep the break going for quite some time now, but it's reached its conclusion.
Sean Murphy, 49.
Solid start, Alan, but by no means decisive. Well, a speculative double with safety attached. The only red he could possibly leave there was the one he went for. And that was unlikely.
That was clever by Sean. That was deliberate, putting the red on the cushion. It's a good little situation for him. Actually, right now, a couple of reds safe. Most of the frames this week have been 1 in 1 visit. 40s and 50s haven't. Far from guaranteed to get the frame one, but as I say, the lie of the land here just suiting Sean, and that's a loose one from Ronnie. I think he's left this red to middle.
Shouts of come on Ronnie, his first chance of the evening.
1.
And right now, Alan, Sean Murphy is grateful of one thing, putting that red safe.
Eight. 9.
Over the years, Sullivan has salvaged so many frames
60.
from significant deficits. Made so many spellbinding clearances.
17.
Well, he's surprised
24.
he got there. Struck it so well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 24. One. 8. Sean Murphy, 8.
A frame involving two players like this, if you're going to see it, more than likely it's going to come very early in a match or right at the end when the nerves are raw.
Yeah, the tricky situation this for Ronnie, because 33 behind, Sean only needs these 2 reds in the open should Ronnie make a mistake. So he's just weighing up whether he wants to take this on. It's probably a judgment call. It's how you feel. Looks like he's taking it on though. Yeah, bonus time, unless that red goes over the green pocket. He has covered it, but I think Sean, I'd fancy him getting this cushion first.
Instead, too thin a contact. And Sullivan's second chance to bite back.
Yeah, there it is again. Perhaps was hampered by the green. Thinking about that red in the side cushion. The best way to go about this.
1.
And this is where he's usually so good, formulating a little plan and trying to shift that red. Not now, but in a few shots' time. Trying to get it now, though. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And now the proverbial pendulum has swung.
5. Six.
Three of the 6 colours off their spots, but nevertheless, for an absolute genius like him, the opportunity to clear.
12. $17. 18.
Yellow and green, similar shots on opposite sides of the table. But of course, with Sullivan's ambidextrous skills, potential problems might not arise.
23.
Yeah, this is the shot now.
$25.
Normally for a right-hander this could be a little troublesome, but temporarily, just for one shot. Sullivan
28.
is a leading player left-handed.
.32.
1 point behind now, so just blue and pink required.
.37.
Just short of where he wanted to be, so a little bit of doubt. Oh yeah, little play.
The first frame.
What a clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And indeed, what a statement. He looks intense, he looks as though he wants this, and he has taken a 1-0 lead. Ultimate crowd pleaser has attracted another very large audience to the Ricoh Arena this evening. Right. And the vast majority of them were delighted with the way the first frame went, because they're all big Ronnie O'Sullivan fans who isn't
Second
really.
Frame. Sean Murphy to break.
Murphy must regroup and try not to dwell. But Alan McManus, the psychology of snooker is this. Had O'Sullivan knocked in a red and made a 100 break there, he wouldn't have been as well off as he is now by winning the frame in that manner.
Yeah, huge pick-me-up when you clear like that, especially having to develop a difficult red.
Well, he cued that one pretty well. It was mighty close. Obviously, at that pace, you need to be absolutely accurate.
A chance now, maybe see Sean Murphy's skills with this rest is as good as they come. This isn't easy, but made to look very simple. Good shot.
Thank you. 1. Six. Seven. .14.
So, as in the opening frame, Murphy in first.
15.
Yeah, just not dropping his cue ball where he wants early on here. He's run out of position a few times in the first frame. That 49 break he made first up, but that's a superb recovery.
9.
Once again, it's not the greatest pack to go into from the black.
20.
Won't be doing it this time either, so one more red to play with to find that angle.
.27.
Frustratingly, though, hence Murphy's expression. The blue here hampering. And Alan, when you're hampered in mid-table like this, it's not exactly inviting.
No, I mean, there's no reason why he won't play it. The one good thing about it, just having a look at it, if he were to pod it, he's got a chance of getting low in the black. Oh, that is a great shot.
Thank you.
Best shot he's played.
28.
And actually from this low in the black, he can catch that wing ball on the left. Bound to push quite a few into play. Yeah, well played. Good shot. Deserves to be nice on a red.
$35. $36. $40. 41.
Against other players, you're not under as
46.
much pressure in these situations, but he knows in the back of his mind he almost has to kill the frame at this visit, Sean Murphy,
47.
because of the quality of his opponent. That brings its different pressures.
$54. $55.
The calendar might not say so, but you get the feeling this, for Sean Murphy, is the start of his season. It's been a phony war for him really so far. Nothing really happening.
62.
And when you think about last week's tournament, the International Championship in Daqing in China, he wasn't even there. He was beaten 6-0 in the qualifiers.
63.
But I think the prospect of defending his Champion of Champions title has woken him up.
$70.
And in the space of 7 minutes, frame
71.
2 is well and truly secure.
$78. $79.
This season he's lost in the first round of the World Open, the European Masters, the Paul Hunter Classic, and the International Championship, as I mentioned. Here in Coventry, though, we're seeing the Sean Murphy we're used to.
86. 87. $92.
I know the pressure's off now,
93.
Alan, in this frame, but he is so dependable with the rest.
Yeah, it's been a demonstration, this break by Sean Murphy, and you'll think back to
95.
that opening red. All right, it wasn't that difficult, but you see, very dependable with it. And having knocked it in, this is a result.
Thanks. Thank you.
Normal,
96.
extended, spider, doesn't matter.
$103.
Yeah, that shot with the spider was special, wasn't it? Brilliant shot.
105.
Very much laid the foundation for him to win the frame.
108. 112. 117. 123.
'Sacrifices a total clearance for a possible trick
123
shot which
and the
didn't
frame.
work,
Sean Murphy.
but that was total class. Sean Murphy, what a response, emphatic. He's back on level terms, 1-1. Like frames, and potentially we've got 11 of them this evening. And there is Damien Hirst, appreciating the work of another artist.
Thank you. The
Sitting
third frame.
there, Ronnie O'Sullivan,
O'Sullivan to
his
break.
firm friend. We see him around the circuit on many occasions when O'Sullivan's playing. Just loves the aesthetic of the rocket.
Oh, we're going to need a bigger table. What a red. What a pot.
He's some boy, isn't he, Murphy? What a potter from distance. When he won the World Championship in 2005, no one in the history of the game over a sustained period, in that case 17 days, has ever potted better from distance. He was dynamite.
Eyeing up the yellow, so he's going to take this on. Almost equally as difficult. These are tough, blind into the middle pocket. Ah, good shot.
Three. Four.
Looked a touch wide, that red, didn't it? But the brand new cloth just helping it to slide in. Off the right hand jaw. Oh, the top red. Off the black will go. Well, in fact, the bottom one might as well, so.
9.
Just the top red. There's plenty of work to do here. The black's pretty much out of commission.
10.
think he's considering playing a deep screw into the bunch here because the pink's going to go at the back of the pack when it's respotted. That's why he played that. A little unlucky.
Well, there's a pot still available, but again, it might be one of those awkward rest shots.
$60.
I believe when he struck that, he thought it was in.
60.
I did. I thought it was in.
One.
Now that looks a poor shot, but when a red is so deep into a pocket, it's so difficult to judge.
Yeah, I think the value there would have been even just trying to split the bunch and just hope for the best. It's so difficult, as you say, Phil, to judge that shot. You almost have to catch the red wafer thin to get it top side of blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1. One.
Sullivan's best pot from distance so far. Into the meat of the pocket. Not the best kiss, mind you. It meant the cue ball had to travel an awful lot in potting the blue.
6.
This actually might work in his favour, not being perfect in this red. Yeah, just getting them in the open.
7.
Definitely going to pay dividends. Once again, as I think back to the safety shot that Sean Murphy played, you have to get the cue ball not tight to the baulk cushion, but certainly near it.
$12. $13.
Yeah, this is fine. I think the red that's virtually touching the pink will go. Wants to be just a touch high on it if he can. Oh, that's perfect. And now he's getting the black into play off this, you would think. Just a little soft as cannon.
19.
One of these unusual little cannons he'll be playing here. I wonder if he's actually trying to just push a red towards a middle pocket. And he's gone full power and almost hope for the best. I don't know if that was the right shot. He's actually been fortunate in a way that the red has gone
26.
quite near the left middle. I can't believe he's taken this one on. I don't think he's favourite to get this. Oh, but what a shot.
27.
If it's any consolation, Alan, I would have said exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
$34. $35.
Interesting little shot here. Low in the
41.
pink next. Might elect to bring one of those reds into play.
42.
See it just low on it. Probably won't. Just checking the scoreboard. He's going to need one of those 3 difficult reds. Does he risk it now? No. I'm going to wait a shot.
$48.
Alignment here, not the best. Technique a little cramped as well.
Yes, he'd be playing for a high black, obviously, but he can also play for pink at the same time. Give himself more options. That's perfect.
49.
34 and 41, so he's going to need red colour. Just checking. And played that to the inch. I don't see any way you can miss this red now. It has
56.
nothing to do with the cue ball. We'll get over ambitious with it.
$57.
And so this is frame ball. $49 in front, 43 on. Murphy needs a couple of snookers.
64. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 64.
And O'Sullivan holding all of the aces because apart from the snookers, there's still an awkward red and the yellow as well.
Last 2 frames have just shown you how the modern game works. Leave anything sticking out, you can be sitting in your chair for quite a long time. Going back to that opening red that Ronnie potted in this frame after Sean losing the cue ball, not getting it tight to the baulk cushion. He'll almost try to miss these reds in the gap because it's almost impossible. But good tip.
You do see frames won when players require snookers, of course. But they don't crop up too much. We saw an extraordinary frame in a semi-final on RTV last season. Ryan Day won a frame against Marco Fu when he needed 4 snookers. But that's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. And the blue going there might well be extra insurance.
One.
Well, needs high value colours, so he has to pot one here. If he doesn't, I'm sure we'd see the concession.
Seven. Sean Murphy, 7.
So close to end of frame in one way, and indirectly it might be the end of frame in another. What a kiss this was off the brown. For a moment he was worried about the in-off. The end is 9 now.
One. Seven. Thanks. 9. 12. 16. 21. 27. 34 on frame.
Every indicator suggests he's in good shape, and with his highest break of the match so far, a run of 64, Ronnie O'Sullivan again moves a frame in front, this time at 2-1. First semi-final of the Manbet X Champion of Champions 2018. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Thank you, frame 4. Sean Murphy
taking a 2-1 lead. Frame 4, massively important. After this, the interval.
Interesting there. That little piece at the top of the show about the break off. I think Sean has just switched sides. Players sometimes do that. Most though tend to stick to the same side. We were in the practice room the other day with Sean. We were talking about technical things and geeky things, all things snooker. And I said to him, "Where do you tend to hit the cue ball?" And you tend to hit it with a bit of right hand side or left hand. He said, "The middle." There's a rare beast.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, he cues the ball so well. I mean, even that shot he played there, beautiful cueing, getting a tight cue ball. There's definitely been a lot of thought by both players tonight, hasn't there? And quite a few safety exchanges going on, which is good to see. I say most of the week has been heavy scoring from the off. Is this a chance? Wants this red to be a straight.
Touching ball.
If it's straight, I think Sean can get through for black.
One.
Yeah, so there was just a hint of angle on it, wasn't there? So the cue ball just almost went sideways. It was difficult then to get down for black. We know what he's like with the rest. It'll be even easy to get the rest in behind those reds here. This is awkward.
Foul. Yep. Sean Murphy 1. Ronnie O'Sullivan 7.
Well, I think the referee and Sean both realised it was a foul at the same time. Sean owned up. Simultaneously, Brendan called it.
Yeah, as I say, the trouble dropping the rest over those reds, you're looking at about 3 or 4 different things, and at the same time you're trying to pot a black that's very missable. The eagle-eyed Brendan Moore, as ever, on the spot.
One.
And fouls of that nature can have such a massive impact on a match.
This is where I think Sullivan just normally starts to try and pick up a little bit of pace. You'll see him busier now. See the little swipe of the cue with his arms, he's trying to get his body feeling loose. Yeah, round he comes, almost round there before the cue ball stops. Pace will be quickened here.
Yes, because in the first 3 frames he's not been
14.
running around the table by any means. Average shot time 20 seconds.
50.
For him, that's a little slower than normal. Circumstances have dictated.
$22. 23.
Helps no end as well here, playing this pink, being able to play switch to left-handed, playing for this next red. Actually, must be a strange feeling to play
29.
that kind of shot. You go in and out of ball, and you're not even thinking about the rest. You know, you can reach over and just play it as normal. Great asset to have. But obvious to say, looking for a nice angle then on the black. That'll be the key to this.
30.
Oh, and he's got it. That's where he put it with his hand. Big shot coming up. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous shot.
37. $38. $45.
A more than useful lead, 51 points, but Sullivan can't disguise his frustration. And maybe said frustration manifested itself in that shot.
45.
Yeah, it's also having created the open. Let's say playing the little left-handed shot, perfect in the black, and he's frustrated about that. He knows how big a frame this is. See the pace in the cue ball there. I was in the practice room this morning. That was the shot Ronnie was actually practicing. They do it for a reason. Must have played 30 or 40 of those in a row. See, players always cast a little eye over to the other guys practicing just to see what they're up to, see what the little routines, and everyone slightly different, but as I say, Ronnie practices his safety play diligently. Spoke earlier about the arc in the cue ball, taking this red on full power. Watch the cue ball, it'll arc round the red. Great shot, actually. This is a super shot. Needs a little bit of luck, and I think he's gotten it. No, he hasn't. But it was actually a very good shot, Phil, wasn't it? You know, difficult to get the return. He managed to eke out some sort of shot to nothing.
Yeah, sadly for Murphy now though, 3-1 is looming ever larger. Especially after that. Oh, a little bit more than I anticipated though.
Yeah, the green's a certainty, isn't it? But it could go wrong positionally.
Well, if he's knocked a plant on, okay, you could say it was fortunate, but he's on
Seven.
an alternative red to middle anyway.
And once again, this little chance here for Ronnie to just put the frame away is all because
8.
of a fabulous safety shot that he played. See, this is the easy part of the game for players of this calibre. Well, there's not that
40.
many of Ronnie's calibre, but you know what I mean. It's those safety
50.
shots that create openings.
And this is the most simple frame ball imaginable.
Yeah, see, the
21.
easy part's also the fun part for players down around the pink spot. Knocking balls in.
22.
Enjoyed this part of it.
Well, from O'Sullivan, the only time we've seen fireworks was in the intros. But
27.
he's been tremendous in terms of application, attitude, patience, really.
28.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Phil. He's been first class. It's not been sparkling performance, but he's just played the proper way.
I'll use that phrase again. Circumstances
33.
have dictated, and he's just accepted
34.
what's been given him and made a good job of it.
It's when you look beyond the talent, and it's obviously there, and you
40.
see how disciplined he is in the
41.
safety side of the game. And he just now goes in and picks up the pieces.
Can't help but think, and I've said this before, had he been this disciplined and full of
47.
desire throughout his 20s, I
48.
think his haul of trophies might have spilled out of Essex into Suffolk. Mesmerisingly good.
55. 57. $60.
And it's not that his scoring has been subdued, O'Sullivan. Breaks of 43, 64, 34, 45, and now this.
69. $75.
With the exception of one tiny positional blip, that was a model frame from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Sean Murphy, the defending champion, finds himself in more than a spot of bother because at the mid-session interval, he trails by 3 frames to 1.
With the scores poised at 3-1 to the Rocket, it's the best of 11. It's time to welcome them back with match referee Brendan Moore, the Magician Sean Murphy, and the Rocket's Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Sean Murphy once said of Ronnie O'Sullivan, Ronnie is the standard, meaning the standard for others to aspire to.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And Murphy certainly started pretty well tonight in the first couple of frames, particularly a majestic break of 123 in the second frame. But O'Sullivan has pulled away to a 3-1 lead through dominating the third and fourth frames.
Yeah, Sean Murphy's got to do something pretty special because it's very rare we see Ronnie O'Sullivan losing a lead in any type of match, in any length of frame match. As I was saying in the studio, Sean Murphy's just making 1 or 2 mistakes more in the frames than Ronnie. He's going to cut them out.
10 wins to O'Sullivan, 3 to Murphy in their personal head-to-head. Hasn't left anything. Sullivan doesn't want to leave Murphy a shot at the red nearest the right corner. He moves that red.
He's in such a difficult position, Sean Murphy. Does he go all-out attack? There's a red to the right corner. Tough cue ball. Or does he try and keep it tight? Such a conundrum for him in this match tonight. A pretty good safety though.
Over the awkward, congested side. Brendan Moore is the referee. Used to drive a bus past the Crucible every day and ended up refereeing the World Final there. Almost tight on the ball cushion. Great long pot from O'Sullivan, who hasn't been very successful in that department earlier this evening.
Yeah, I think a great pot is almost an understatement. It was fabulous cueing. Forced into it, really. Didn't have a safety shot. And it's the last thing that Sean Murphy wanted to see in this 5th frame. Ronnie.
6.
And amongst the balls early on.
Seven.
Lovely shot there, playing with an extreme amount of right hand side to make sure he got top side of the blue.
O'Sullivan's great mate, Damien
12.
Hirst, the artist. O'Sullivan has been intensely focused right from the off. He tends to ration his tournament appearances, restricts himself to the ones that he really wants to play in, that he really fancies.
20.
And he likes this tournament. Good crowd, great arena.
You could see as soon as he'd hit that, the disappointment, because he was playing for the blue. He's overscrewed it.
The cloth is extremely responsive, and it caught O'Sullivan out there.
But that's an excellent recovery.
24.
Beautiful shot.
$25.
The shot he just played on the green. It's so easy to get into the cue ball too much, and you can bring the cue ball down to that ready played for. You end up with a really thin cut, but he just aims slightly below centre. Just a stun. Touch of right hand side. Lovely shot. You can almost see his mind working. How he's going to develop these reds into a frame winning chance. Stalking the table. They're not the best bunch to go into from the blue. As you see, they're pretty well spread open. Nothing pots, but
31.
you may have a red. The three above the black, the right hand side of those will pot to the right corner. It looks to me at first glance the only red that's available to play on. There you see it. There's not a lot of room to get on that red.
Played the cannon on the outside red to leave the one that
36.
Stephen was talking about.
Yeah, well, he's not on that one, but red below the pink goes to the right middle. One little cannon here. Possibly leave the pink to the opposite middle.
37.
Playing that, got one more red in the open.
.43.
He looks like, when these types of breaks, when it's all awkward, he looks to me like he enjoys these kind of breaks than the ones that are just straightforward. He's really got to push himself.
44.
These sorts of breaks are tests of his touch and control.
Well, that original red, he's just looking to see that I mentioned 3 shots ago to the right corner. He's going to have to put this cue ball on a 5-pence piece to get on it. In the end, he chose to play the cannon, and it's not worked out. That's end of break.
51.
But a poor safety
Ronnie
shot
Sullivan,
at the end of the break.
51.
Yeah, this is a shocker. This is not something you would expect from Ronnie. Obviously didn't get the disappointment of the previous shot out of his mind, but at first glance, he's been very fortunate. This red does go, but he hasn't got a full pocket to aim at. Good shot. Now this is a very important visit to the table for Shaun Murphy in the context of this match. Midfield definitely at 4-1 down, there's no way back.
But 3-2 and he's right back in it.
Six.
Shouldn't have too much trouble with 4 of the reds. But there are 2 awkward ones standing in the way of a winning clearance.
14. 50.
It's something that he usually does very well, actually, is make clearances from this sort of situation, 50-odd points behind. The 2 reds on the right cushion is obviously
22.
The problem.
.23.
Now this is a big shot. Needs an angle.
29.
I don't know whether he's got an angle to actually pot this red and maybe kiss the red that's closest to the middle pocket away from the cushion. Leave himself on the black, or possibly even the pink, but the last thing you want to do is cannon the red out, but leave the cue ball glued to that right cushion. So playing the angle and the colour. This looks pretty good.
30.
So screw the cue ball across. It'll be the one that's closest to Shaun here that he'll be trying to take out, and try to leave himself on the other red to the right corner.
Good attempt to develop another red.
36.
But it's got to be a safety.
Yeah, unusually for Sean, he didn't get into the cue ball enough there. I think it might have been just a tricky angle in the pink. But he's right back in this frame.
John Murphy,
Didn't
36.
intend the red to cannon the black, but no immediate harm done.
Well, he got very close. He did have a pretty straightforward safety shot there, so that was a risk. Is it a risk too far? Be very surprised if it didn't cross in this frame.
One.
It helps in that kind of situation. If you're not carrying too much weight around the midriff, and Sullivan was able to keep away from fouling a ball underneath him. But he's so angry with himself for missing that red. He leads by 21, but that's far from decisive.
Well, Sean won't need me to tell him that he needs to jump all over this chance now to pile more misery on his opponent, who already must be fuming in his chair for missing the red. Yeah, that's very well played. He looks to have a natural angle in the pink to put it in the middle, go up for the yellow.
No apparent obstacle to a winning clearance for Murphy.
Seven. Nine. Twelve.
If O'Sullivan had potted the last red, I'm pretty sure it would have been 4-1 by now. But I'll be astonished if his lead isn't reduced to 3-2.
16.
with his contribution from Murphy. However, he's got the wrong side of the blue.
Well, Sean. What have you done there? Okay, he's got the cue power to get around the table, but this should have been straightforward. Oh dear, where's the cue ball ended up?
21.
So he's put himself under pressure now. Okay, he's very strong with the rest. And there's big pressure on this shot, automatically on the black, so just concentrate in the pot.
Thank you. 27.
Made rather more of a meal of it than he might have done, but nevertheless, Murphy clears up with 34 and reduces his deficit to 3-2.
Johnson's Trade Cleanable Mat, sponsors of evenings on ITV4.
Thank you. Frame 6. Sean Murphy to break.
Murphy's break-off shot a little short of the ball cushion. But O'Sullivan's long game is suspect.
What Sean Murphy would dearly love to do in this frame is get in quickly without Ronnie potting a ball and make a frame winning break. Just to keep that pressure on. With what happened at the end of the last frame, he doesn't want to let Ronnie off the hook. With an unforced error, keep the pressure on.
This capacity crowd absolutely enthralled by this battle.
Well, there was an unforced error, but he's kind of got away with it a little bit. It looked like he was going to leave Ronnie Sullivan a much easier opener than this. Test the cue in here. No, it wasn't a bad bit of cueing at all. Very close to the pot. But he's left a chance.
Played to screw back for a ball colour while putting distance between cue ball and object ball for Murphy in case he missed it.
One.
Those shots are meat and drink for Sean Murphy with his cue action. He's missed the blue. Wow.
Sean Murphy 1.
What a reprieve for O'Sullivan. Just planning things out, not diving in.
One.
It's very early in the frame, but I can still say that
3.
Murphy has already had a chance to level the match at 3-all, even with all but one of the reds remaining.
4.
Now O'Sullivan has a chance to reopen a 2-frame gap at 4-2.
Yeah, at this level of snooker, it's just
10.
one little mistake is going to cost you. And it's such a psychological game as well. If
11.
Sean could have just got a one visit win in this frame to level at 3-3, it would have really kept his opponent, put doubt in his mind. It's not as played.
18.
O'Sullivan's positional touch fails him for once.
Great recovery.
19.
Really was. Because he must have been steaming inside after what's gone in on the last frame, and then that poor positional shot.
$26.
Controlling your emotions is such a big part of the game at this level, or indeed any level.
27.
Just play a little cannon on the red, it's closest to the black. Thought he might have played that shot, but maybe he just doesn't want to take
34.
any risks. Just wants to get this frame won.
35. $42. 43. $50.
Not the angle he intended to leave on the red to the right of the pink. But always knew he had an alternative.
51. $56. 57.
It continues to look as if Murphy has made a highly significant error.
63. 64.
Which Sullivan is fully exploiting. Already past the post.
71.
Yeah, that's Sean's chance to
72.
win this match, gone with that miss blue into the middle pocket.
$79. 80.
Sullivan in pursuit of his 7th century of the tournament, hoping to add this one to the 6 he made in his group.
$87. 88.
And the more distant target comes in sight just a little more.
94.
This would be his 964th century.
95.
En route to what everyone expects to be at least 1,000 centuries. The first player to achieve that number in tournament play.
102. 104.
Sullivan usually claims that he's not really interested in records, but I thought it rang
107.
much truer when he said once, of course I'd like the records, who wouldn't?
111.
But he emphasised that he wasn't going to obsess about them. The focus was going to be
160.
on his enjoyment of the game.
122.
Sullivan certainly enjoyed that clearance of 129 as he extends his lead to 4-2.
7. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan 4-2 up then, as a result of clearing up with 129 after Murphy had missed a dolly blue when he had a great chance. very good at that sort of shot. Half ball, natural angle, round behind the back of the black.
Three.
He'd love to be on the red, but closest to the black here. But if he's high, he won't play that because he's going to be going into the black and may push it to the cushion. In the end, they try to hit it hard to get the cue ball out of there. But these are not misses that Sean Murphy can afford to make.
One.
He does have an option here. Well, he may play for the red that's closest to the blue, but he could go in between green and brown with right hand side into the bunch. Playing for the open red first, so he's going to need an angle.
Six.
Well, they play for the black here.
Seven.
Use that cue ball to move. This is a much thinner cut than he would have liked. Not so easy to know for certain where the cue ball's going to end up here. But played a very controlled little cannon.
$14.
Beautiful shot.
And not hampered by the blue as he feared momentarily.
$15.
Wrong side of the blue, but one good positional shot. And he could be in for another frame-winning break.
$20.
Lovely when a plant pops up to help you out. This is starting to look very promising.
Yeah, the plant was unmissable, but the control of the cue ball with his left hand was perfection. What a advantage to have. What a tool to have. To be able to just switch hands and play shots almost as well, not quite as well as his right hand, but to a very high standard.
$26. $27.
Starting to look ominous, Clive, for Sean Murphy.
Yes, he's made significant mistakes at the wrong moment.
34. $35. 42. 43. 50.
O'Sullivan's 94% on pot success.
51.
Murphy's dropped below 90%.
58. 59. 64.
So this next red is frame ball. There seems no reason whatsoever for O'Sullivan not to make
72.
Another century. Back to back with his 129 in the last frame.
$80. 81. 88. 89.
An exhibition of sheer class.
Yeah, not only the brilliant snooker that's being played by Ronnie Sullivan, he just shows you what a fighter he is at the table, what a match player.
95.
This is more difficult than he would have liked.
96.
But it made absolutely no difference.
$100.
So his 8th century of the
102.
tournament has been made.
$105. 109. 114. 120.
Lovely.
127 in the frame.
Blake with 129 and 127 in consecutive frames transport O'Sullivan to a 5-2 lead, which is 3 up with quarter play.
Thank you, frame 8. Sean Murphy to break.
So Sean Murphy well and truly up against it. I'm bound to say that in the early stages it looked as if this was going to be a much closer match. Murphy should have won the first frame, started with a 49 break and had some reasonable chances to clinch it, only to lose it to O'Sullivan's 43 clearance. Murphy made a 1-2-3 in the second frame, but then matters started to slip, and he's won only one frame since then, only 1 out of 5.
Putting this red, hopefully landing the black to the left corner. He's left. Well, possibly if they're cut to the left middle, the red to the left of the blue, possibly a red back to the left corner. No, it's the one near the middle that Sean's looking at. But he's at the point of no return now. Any mistake could be his last in this semi-final. It's a pretty decent pot under the circumstances. And he's got one of these blues again.
I think in his mind there's nothing much more to lose, so it may bring out his best. Problems might arise again though if he did get close.
Six. Seven.
Yeah, if we try and think about what Sean Murphy needs to do to win this match, it's basically not play a bad shot for 4 frames.
12.
Easier said than done.
$30.
That's very nicely played.
18. $90.
Perfect angle in the black to go into the bunch off the cushion. A little bit surprised he didn't take the opportunity there.
26. $27.
I'm sure we'll be going into them this time. Just going to the left-hand side of the reds, the bunch, as we look up the table. Just stun into that. The red, the 3 reds closest to the black. Don't think he'll play this with extreme bottom of the cue ball. Just a stun into them. Yeah, just like that. Just didn't get a full enough contact on that 3rd red. That's why
34.
the cue ball's gone up to the bulk end of the table. He has got a medium range pot, one of which under normal circumstances he'd swallow up.
$35. $42. $43.
The ball's nicely distributed. for a frame-winning contribution here.
$50. 51.
Yeah, you would think one more good positional shot in the next red. Been the last problem. Just having to think about this. It's been a good performance from Sean Murphy.
58.
Very easy to let his head go down and just resign himself to losing the match.
59.
In patches tonight, he has showed good form. He'll be a lot happier, even if he doesn't win tonight, going forward in the season. How well he's played this week.
Having done very
65.
little on the circuit in early season.
66.
One thing he can do, as you're seeing here, is reel off frames very quickly. As I said, if he can just go miss-free
72.
for the remainder of this match, who knows?
73.
Very much odds against.
Well, O'Sullivan came from a long way back in last year's final here
78.
and was within a couple of colours of levelling the match at 9-all before having to
79.
accept a 10-8 defeat.
$86. 87.
All you can do in these circumstances is stick to your game, stick to your method. Try and make it close, try to put pressure on your opponent despite his big lead.
94.
Red and black to match his opponent's 2 centuries in the match.
95.
Very well played. Very well played indeed.
102. Thank you. Sean Murphy.
102 it is.
And the frame.
The second century of the match. And he still trails by 5 frames to 3.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan within a frame of a place in the final against the winner of tomorrow evening's semi-final between Mark Allen and Karen Wilson. And how lucky he was there to get the cue ball back into baulk after bungling his break-off shot.
Could that be the last mistake Sean Murphy will make? Among Ronnie's many attributes to his game, as we watch this miss again, is finishing a match off. He never shrinks from the winning line.
Six. 7.
Sullivan and Murphy met in 3 finals last season. Sullivan won in York and Llandudno. Murphy won here.
14. 15.
Could play a screw off the bunch here. Leave the black to the same pocket. Open some reds up.
23.
Good shot. Just a little bit too much right hand side on. That's why he's low in the black. So you have to play another little controlled cannon. He won't play this with too much pace.
The fascinating part of many O'Sullivan breaks is how he opens the bunch gradually, just chipping away at it.
.31.
Well, the reason he's short in the black is he potted the red thick into the pocket. He almost missed it. You have to play another cannon here. He's okay. He's got a red to the right middle.
38.
He's 1 or 2 shots away from this being inevitable.
.39.
Puff of the cheeks. It's not been his best cue ball night tonight. You know, it seems strange to say that. He could possibly make his 3rd century, but he's not had the cue ball
44
in as tight a control as he normally does. But it's still been hugely impressive.
.45.
I judged that one beautifully. Perfect on the blue.
.50. .51.
O'Sullivan has played throughout the evening with intense concentration.
58.
And has played very few loose shots.
Yeah, he showed an incredible will
59.
to win. As I said, it's not been his best night in terms of cue ball control that I've ever seen him, but it's been a tremendous display of match snooker. Wow.
Foul.
He spoke too soon.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 59. Sean Murphy 7.
Well, is there going to be
Quiet
a
down,
twist
please. Thank
in the
you.
tail?
Foul.
Dug down into the cue ball.
Foul.
Maybe dug down just a little too much. So we all thought he was going to finish with another century, but we were all wrong.
Shh, quiet down, please.
Well, that was one last throw of the dice. I don't expect Murphy to get another chance.
Tucking his waistcoat in to obviously avoid fouling that red. It's on the baulk cushion. It's very close to it. And one good pot, you would think, would be the end.
One. Four. Five.
I'm sure when Ronnie comes into the studio to get interviewed, I'm sure he'll probably be scathing about his performance in Ronnie fashion, but he's done the job. He's in another final. He's been very solid.
That was match ball, barring snookers.
10.
Sullivan led 3-2. He made it 5-2 with back-to-back centuries of 129 and 127. Murphy contributed a century of his own, 102.
18.
To reduce his arrears to 5-3. But Sullivan has dominated this frame, and although he needed a second chance,
90.
he certainly made no mistake with it, having miscued on 59 from his first opportunity.
$26. 27.
Sullivan has reached the final.
33.
We can say in all 5 Champion of Champions tournaments in which he's competed.
Thanks.
So he'll be here on Sunday against
34.
either Kylan Wilson or Mark Allen, who play tomorrow evening.
$38.
Yeah, and you'd think he might have to go
40.
up a gear if he was to play Mark Allen in the final, that is. He's by no means over the line against Karen Wilson yet, but the way Mark Allen played it
43.
yesterday in his group, it'd be some final.
$47.
But this man at the table has just become so difficult to beat, even when below his brilliant best.
52. 58.
2 centuries, 95% pot success rate. Nothing much wrong with that.
65.
Ronnie O'Sullivan
Ronnie O'Sullivan
beats Sean Murphy by 6 frames to 3 to reach Sunday's final.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan safely into his 5th Champion of Champions final. We'll hear from the Rocket after the break. Champion of Champions with a 6-3 victory over last year's winner, Sean Murphy. And I'm pleased to say that Ronnie's popped in. Congratulations, Ronnie. Great to see you in your 5th final here at the Champion of Champions. I could see frustration at times in your game, but with a 95% pot success and a 6-3 win over Sean Murphy, you must be happy.
Yeah, let's say I'm over the moon to have got through, you know, and Sean's a great player, and you know he's going to spark into life at some point in this season. I'm just glad it wasn't tonight, you know. But I don't know how you can play so well. I don't know when it was, Wednesday when I played, Tuesday, I can't remember. Yeah. And then I don't know what day it was, Friday. You didn't just feel like a completely different player, like cueing wise, you know, like you left me amongst the balls there, and I just didn't fancy I was going to clear up. I know I did, but it was just like I was willing them in the hole, you know, in the end, you know. And in that last frame now, I knew something was going to go wrong. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't feel confident of winning the frame in that visit. And then when I miscued, I was like, oh, that's the worst thing a snooker player can do, you know. So I'm just pleased to get through, really. You know, I felt edgy all day. I must admit, all day I felt edgy. I didn't feel relaxed. Just, you know, I get them days, you know. You just have to...
How do you? Well, you obviously respond to it because you played well enough to get into the final. Yeah. But you know, this is Ronnie not in top form, managing to play like that.
I'm so competitive that I'm just, you know, I know I showed some frustration at this because I get frustrated with myself. You know, sometimes I feel like I go through spells where, you know, I can just clear up every time I come to the table like I did Tuesday. But, you know, today wasn't one of them days, but expectations was there because of how well I played Tuesday.
I was in the box first 4 frames. I thought the first couple of... You were taking your time, which is a good thing if you're not feeling about it. And you know, you were taking your time and mixing it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I hit some balls this morning, but after that I didn't even hit a ball before the match. I don't bother anymore because I go on there and I play well on the practice table and end up queuing rubbish on the match table, and it just gets so frustrating. So I thought I go for a lucky dip, you know, wait until I get out there, see what happens, and then. But at least while you're out there, you think I'm going out there with a fresh mind. So I don't know. It's just you just got to try and do what you got to do. We're
going to show a bit of it. I mean, I know what you mean. The game. We feel the game changed a bit here because Sean was he was clawing his way into it, and he missed that, and then you made back-to-back hundreds. But you know, he had a chance there, didn't he? And you put a good red here.
Huge, but I shouldn't have been there.
No,
it's like poor positional play.
No, but sometimes you have to feed off the other guy, don't you? You know, the fact that he missed that chance to get back into the game.
I get what you're saying, but it's not nice to win like that, you know what I mean? You want to win by just powering through and playing really good snooker, you know. I was just relying, you know, on a few mistakes from Sean tonight, you know. If he would have been on blob, he'd have been sitting here, you know, talking about playing in Sunday's final.
Put it this way, I think in almost all the frames except the last couple, he got in first in every frame. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that upsets you, isn't it? Because it's out of your hands. If he scores, then you're in trouble.
Upsets any snooker player because you think, you know, you know, if he'd have took his chances, I'd have probably been loser tonight, you know.
Well, we've got to show this again. I know you don't want to see it, but your reaction was priceless. Just laughing.
Yeah, because I just thought, you know, I was, you know, just was struggling to just find the cue ball tonight, positional play-wise, and then you get in the balls and you think, oh, you know, it's you know, this is my chance, but I just thought something might go wrong.
The thing about this game is like you beat Sean there, right, and you beat you last year. And look, I saw that game. I know it hurt to lose in that final because that's how the game has to be. It's got to hurt when you lose, but you've got to take something when you win, haven't you? You know what I mean? And you look like you were pleased to win.
Yeah, no, listen. I was going through all sorts of emotions out there, but obviously, like since working with Steve Peters, I've become a bit more like Stephen and Steve Davis, where I don't get so frustrated, or say like John Higgins. You know, whereas before I'd have just thought, get me out of here. You know what I mean? It's not going to be my day. Whereas now I can challenge them negative voices in my head while I'm out there, which gives me a chance. You know.
You know, sorry, Jill, talking about the Steve Peters. Have you got a technique out there, sitting in your chair that you phrases?
Yeah, well, not phrases, but just sort of like it's just a way of, you know, thinking, and just sometimes, you know, I've done it for so much over the last 6-7 years. It's very hard to like mention in like 30 seconds, but there are things that calm me out there when I'm out there, and not to like sabotage, if you like, because I'm good at sabotaging.
You can reload, get set for Sunday. But listen, great to have you back in the final, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.